In this video, we're going to show you one of the new features in 10.3. We added the capability to persist your workflow while it's running. Typically, the workflow process runs until it has no more things to run, or it might hit a wait step or an error step. At that point, the workflow ran completely in memory, and then it gets persisted back to the database. But let's say in a large workflow, when you have long operations like document generation and things like that, you might want to persist your workflow runtime data at a certain point in the process. So you can easily do that now. All you have to do is drag this new step that we have added. And let me show you an example of that. So if I go to this process called test persist, and you'll see here's a simple little workflow that makes a decision, placeholder, and we have this new step right here called save process state. It's also called persist process state. And you can search for that in the toolbox and drag and drop. And what will happen is at this point, when it hits this particular step, it will basically store or persist that runtime data for this process instance back into the database. So you can actually watch what's going on in your workflow in real time and see the processing at that point. You can also do something similar to that using the visual debugger where you can debug step by step. But if you want to run a full process, this step becomes very useful. So let's go ahead and run this and let's show you what this will do. So I'm going to go ahead and create an instance and I'm going to say to run. And at this time, you can see the workflow process ran. And when it hit this step, it basically sent the data to the backend database and it stored all that runtime data. And if you really want to see this step, you'll see if you go into history, you go utils history, you will see a record of this step execution. And there'll be a history item written called persisted to database. And so at this point, you can see if you track this history, you can see right here, it started the processing of this workflow. And you can see starting to execute instance at the step it persisted. And here it created an engine alert for the wait step. And it set the process instance to be sleeping. So that's what this particular workflow performed. But as you can see from history, it also persisted itself while executing. Thanks for watching. I hope this new step will help you with various workflows that you're building.